Obviously the budget's the major focus for us here in New Zealand, and there's an awful lot of information to digest in order to work out what the implications of a budget are. But for financial markets, the focus is firmly offshore, and we've seen a very, very volatile night where share markets and currency markets went through some fairly significant moves. Commodity currencies and growth currencies like the New Zealand dollar and the Australian dollar took pretty significant dips, and we've got down several cents from yesterday's levels. So has the Australian dollar. We've actually held steady at around 80 cents against the Australian dollar, but we've gone all the way down to trade around 67 cents against the US dollar overnight, a long way from the levels we were at a few days ago. Now the concerns are all about Europe, and there what happened yesterday was the German government came out with a ban on short selling of certain assets. And this was a preemptive effort to try and stabilise the European financial system, but it's rattled the nerves of investors and is certainly causing the jitters around the world in financial markets. There's some data out in the States which would normally gain a lot of attention, but it all paled compared to the focus on Europe. But we did have the Fed minutes out, and the Fed members are continuing to debate just how and when to start to remove some of the stimulus that's been placed on the economy. With the uncertainty that's taking place around the world at the moment, it adds to the view that they won't be in too much of a hurry to raise interest rates in the States. We also had mortgage data out in the States. Now, 1 in 7 houses in the States that has a mortgage is either in arrears or in the foreclosure process. So that's a very, very weak mortgage market. Shows to us that the problems that they're facing in the housing market are still a long way from being completely resolved, and that contributed to the weakness we saw in US shares last night. The budget will certainly be dominating the headlines here for the next 24 hours, but we've also got a consumer confidence report out in New Zealand, and there is data getting released offshore. But tonight I think the focus is all going to be back on Europe, and after the volatility we saw last night, investors will just be looking at how the share market and currency markets go, and hopefully they'll be a little bit quieter than what we saw in the last 24 hours.